Hit me. You ready?
Man, oh, I'm ready, dog.
No skid. Just go right in.
I don't think I have a skit, dude. To
Me
be honest
either,
with you,
just go-
I mean,
Them nose hairs.
yeah, tons of them. Good thing we're on 720.
Hey, orale. They can't tell if I'm ugly. I don't have one either. What's up, everybody? TNC here. Hope everybody enjoyed their fourth, because we just enjoyed the fourth installment of Toy Story. So, grab that popcorn and drink of choice. It's TNC at the movies.
And we're back. So we just came back from watching Toy Story 4, and let's break it down. Toy Story 4 was directed by John Cooley in his directorial debut. He's done other stuff, but full-length animation movie, this is his first one. The main writers for this movie are Andrew Stanton and Stephanie Folsom. They have been involved in previous Toy Story movies, so they're probably the ones that were, riding the ship. The cast, as you would obviously expect, is all the classic characters. You have Woody, played by Tom Hanks. Buzz Lightyear, played by Tim Allen. Bo Peep, Annie Potts. But we do introduce several new characters. The main one being Forky, played by Tony Hale.
Yeah.
Key and Peele were stupendous as Bunny and Ducky. And last but not least, in fact, quite the opposite, the most, the man, John Wick. He is playing Duke Kaboom.
Sick.
And before we continue with that, I just want to say that I actually had no idea that Keanu Reeves was in this film at all. And I started watching the movie.
Yeah.
And immediately I was like, wow. I was mind blown by Duke. I thought he was actually a great character right off the bat. Before we break down the entire movie, I just want to say that. And then after the fact, I found out that it was Keanu Reeves, and just
yeah, man. You did
great. Great job. He did a good job.
Yep.
So the basic plot of this movie is actually pretty simple. We basically start off with Bo, who's given away during a rescue attempt in the rain by Woody to save
RC.
To save RC. And when he gets back, he finds out that Bo is being given away, and that's just sort of a cold opening scene, just to get you kind of hooked in. And basically, that scene serves the purpose of foreshadowing sort of what's going to come later on in the film, where Woody has a big decision to make, whether he wants to stay with Bonnie or take off and be what was referred to as a lost toy. As we all know, after Toy Story 3, all the toys are given to a new family with a new kid, being Bonnie. However, the chunk of the movie basically follows Bonnie's family as they go on vacation.
Yes.
The reason they go on vacation is because Bonnie is struggling with school, and Woody, being the excellent toy that he is, of course, wants to make his particular child happy. And he does so by following her to school, where we are introduced to one of the new characters. That's where we meet Forky, who's essentially just an arts and crafts figure who comes to life through the magic of, for whatever the reason, toys are alive. And now this thing is officially a toy because it was made by a child. However, the kicker is that it thinks that it's trash because it's a fork.
Yeah.
So essentially, the entire time we have Woody struggling, to get Forky to be around Bonnie, because Forky is the new toy. This eventually leads to an antique shop where we end up running back into Bo Peep, and that's where the real, struggle and Woody being torn actually begins.
All right, so let's just get right into it, guys. Spoilers. Hope you guys watched it. We've had time. You guys had time. Chewy?
I had very mixed feelings about this movie because at first, not that I wasn't aware that it was going to come out, but I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
I, for one, got, all the let's call it closure,
Mm-hmm.
as it were. I got all the closure I needed in the third one.
Mm-hmm.
However, for some reason, I guess someone in Hollywood didn't get closure and decided that, hey, let's write a little bit more. And I think that's sort of where the movie is a little bit weak.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would almost equate it and to I would almost equate it to when you have, a very popular sitcom and it moves to a different network where, it feels the same and it's almost the same, but there's just, something that's a little bit different, but you know that it's still good.
Mm-hmm.
The example that I can think of is Futurama. It was hilarious on Fox for a long, long time. Then it got canceled. Then it got picked up by Comedy Central. And once it went to Comedy Central, it was still really good. It was a little bit different, but you just weren't sure. The biggest gripe that I have with the movie is probably that, not that it, yeah, like I said, not that it was unnecessary. It's just that it is adding on to something that you already closed the book, but now you're gonna start a new volume. So it's just a little bit hard to rehash everything, just to kind of start again with a brand new canvas.
Mm-hmm.
I still think they did a really good job. There's a lot of things that I liked.
Mm-hmm.
Now, because it was, let's just go with unnecessary. Because it was unnecessary, it means that they did work with a black canvas, which means they can essentially do whatever they want, which was obvious that that's exactly what they did. First one being Bo Peep. She is an absolute badass. Uh, like she was always not referred to, but she was always seen as Woody's girlfriend. She was, a porcelain lamp. So, of course, she was fragile. And she was, again, she was Andy's little sister's toy. She was a girl's toy. So, that always, made her seem very fragile. However, in this movie, we get a completely different Bo Peep. In fact, we get a Bo Peep with some battle wounds.
You get a Furiosa.
Absolutely.
It was really. I was like,
Absolutely. And I, for one, actually appreciated that. I
Mhm.
thought that the actually developed her character, which was unexpected in this movie. So they did do some character development.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how do you feel about Bo?
I thought Bo was cool, but I think trying to harken back to what you say about the blank canvas is that they had, in my opinion, nothing else to say, but they try to find something to say, and I'm not saying Bo Peep wasn't necessary, uh, necessarily not necessary, but I could have did without the Bo Peep and Woody love story. Bo Peep was cool though. Just I felt like she was just added to like give you another dimension to a story that was already over. But she's still cool. I think she reminded me of Furiosa. That was the cool thing. Um, yeah. Other than that, she was whatever to me. Kind of like Forky. Forky was also a big whatever character. I was just, you're here for the story. That's about it. You're not really. I mean, I'm sure the kids love it.
Absolutely.
How do you feel about Forky?
Forky. Forky is the dumbest character I have ever encountered in my entire cinematic um,
Going
experience,
Mhm.
career, what have you.
Right.
Uh, haven't made no money, but still. Forky was annoying. Forky was terrible, and then I actually struggled because I actually think that it was written that way. I
Yeah.
almost feel like they wanted to write a character that is, I don't want to say just off-putting because he was very off-putting to me,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that they just wanted something really annoying, and it always because it made me want to be like Woody, just leave him behind. He wants to be trash.
Yeah, dude. Let him
He,
stay.
he wants to be trash.
And you want to change him, Woody? What's your deal?
And also, I don't want to get in trouble for this,
Mm-hmm.
Tiny.
Yeah. Watch out, Disney.
But I mean, I think it might be okay.
Mm-hmm. Hit me.
If you're gonna rag on the art ability of a child, I think it's okay when it's a computer generated child.
Right.
Cause this chick Bonnie,
Yeah.
oh, she will never be an engineer.
Uh-huh.
Architecture won't be her thing.
Right.
I think there will be in the future, if memes are still around, there will be memes with her, not being able to build IKEA furniture. She's definitely the friend that will call you over to build furniture for her.
Mm-hmm.
She is the one that will call the customer service hotline.
Right.
And hold a screwdriver and not know what to do with it.
You don't need a screwdriver for IKEA, do you?
No.
Oh my.
No. You just need that little wrench that comes with everything.
Oh, okay.
Everything just comes with its own little wrench. You don't need anything else. Anyway, point being, this chick is so bad at arts and crafts that I think that is the mostly responsible for the hideousness that is Forky.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry for the tangent, but Forky is hideous. He is annoying. But I'm torn again because I feel like he was meant to be that way. So I'm like, he was written that way. So maybe, I don't know, like, do I knock it? Because it's obviously it's hitting home if that's what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Forky sucks. The entire time I wish he would just get lost. Again, he was the only reason that we had any sort of struggle in the movie.
Or story.
Because again, one thing I will knock it.
Yeah.
We're just gonna go and just get started with that there.
Mm-hmm.
There was a big lack of an antagonist in this movie.
Yeah, your bad guy wasn't even a bad guy. It's like, who the hell? What was the real struggle? If anything, this was like a organ donating movie.
Absolutely, it was.
This was 7 pounds.
I mean, we'll just call it. It was a big missed opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Because you had Gabby, who is a really old toy, who had the broken voice box, and she had the absolute coolest minions, and they're cool because they're creepy as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Nacho didn't know was just the main one Benson, or were all the dummies Benson?
I can assume they're all a form of Benson.
They're all a form of Benson.
Because I mean, they're all Buzz Lightyears. They're all Woodies, right?
They're all They're all
like not.
They're all Woodies. They're all Buzzes. Yes.
No one has like a given name, like a pet, right? Like no one has a given name, unless you're Forky, because that was your creator. I have a lot of questions for you, Disney. I'm talking about like deep questions, like how does an action figure, how does it, like, who gives? And first of all, if it already knew it was trash, does that mean you can just put trash together and it's like a form? Like, can I put a bunch of leaves together in the Toy Story universe and, give it my child, like wit or whatever the F you want to give it to make it. I'm very concerned. I have a lot of questions for you, Disney.
You know what? I just thought of another question.
Too many questions
for you.
The toy, right?
The toy.
The pet. All right, a pet rock. How does that work? Does
the rock come to life?
What happened to all the pet rocks? In Toy Story universe, I mean.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. It's a lot of questions I have. Hopefully they'll be answered in the comments section.
Toy Story 5.
Oh, man. Toy Story 5. Look, if you really want me to come back and give you my $13 again, Pixar, Disney, whoever's running this corp, give me a pet rock. Give me actual action figures that kids...
Okay. Pet Rock,
Right.
played by Dwayne Johnson, right? I mean, that's what we need.
And,
You want you?
and he'll be like a hardened veteran type
Oh
deal.
God. Okay, I know we're kind of coming down right now on 4.
Right.
But if you write 5,
Right.
with a Pet Rock,
Mm-hmm.
played by The Rock,
Mm-hmm. You'll get my $13.
you can get my $13.
And by the time it comes out, it'll probably be like $16, $17 for one.
Right, 3D Dolby Audio.
$25 out your pocket for one seat. We're not ragging. We go. We pay anyways.
We'll go.
But yeah, man. I mean, it was Forky that irked me, and you know, I guess not having Andy. I'm really starting to think I don't appreciate it because it's not like the characters I grew up with. I'm thinking that's what my problem is.
I think definitely.
They didn't want to go as hard as they did in Toy Story 3. I mean, how can you? You know, you basically got hell for toys, and then you want to.
Toy Story 3 went hard.
Yeah, and then you want to come back to like a fair and somewhat creepy antique store, and it's like, I don't know. It almost feels like this was a direct-to-DVD Disney product.
It absolutely felt very straight to DVD.
It didn't feel like there was enough. Who am I to say, right? I didn't make the movie, but it felt like they didn't care about making it. Like they were just like, oh, let's get this contract out. Let's pump this one out. We got to get it out, just in time to sell those toys. And you got me. I mean, shoot. Don't get me wrong. Coming this Christmas, I know what I'm getting. That is a Buzz Lightyear and a Woody, brand new in package. And yes, they will stay in package. They will not breathe. So I do not want them walking around while I'm sleeping.
Oh, let there be a Bunny and a Ducky plush.
There is.
Oh, it's coming home.
There is, dude. I actually saw it
right here.
I saw it on the Major Figure podcast. Shout out, Zack Ryder and
Kurt
Hawkins. I guess that's it for my negatives. I just wish there was more of the original cast involved. And believe me, I watched the YouTube video where it's like Toy Story 2 and 3 and 4 are really just recycled stories from a whole different... It's a whole thing. You guys should look it up. Toy Story, the stories that didn't get made or some junk like that. You'll find it easy on YouTube. Don't get lost, though. YouTube's weird. Don't get lost.
Key and Peele. Bunny and Ducky.
Mm-hmm.
They were probably the bright spot in this movie for many reasons. The first one being I thought that their lines were all clever. And the reason I think that they were clever was because I don't think that they were written on the script. I think that it had the very organic feeling that perhaps on the script, all that was there was just, the scene direction, what's going on in the scene, and then write the lanes. It just seemed like it was just blank where they were able to just write their own thing. Because it felt, out of everyone talking, out of all the dialogue, it felt that everything that they were saying was actually the most organic.
Natural.
It felt very natural. It felt like we were taking a quick break and then we were watching, another episode of Key and Peele where they were just breaking off another set of characters that interacted. They were hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Among my favorite scenes with them were just when they were having all the imagination scenes where they were, telling other characters what they were going to do. And suddenly, when they were growing exponentially, they were like,
Best
50
part.
feet high. They had
Lasers.
laser eyes.
That was awesome.
And I think that was
fantastic.
great. And and it always went back to and then just tell them the story. And
The plush rush was also hilarious.
the plush rush.
Hilarious.
Another bright spot in this movie is definitely Duke Kaboom,
Mm-hmm.
played by Keanu Reeves. And like I said before, I had no idea that he was going to play this character, and I absolutely love this character. This character had probably the best. He had the best story.
Mm-hmm.
He had the best story. It was the little stunt motorcycle. that got thrown away because he couldn't do the stunt like he did it on the commercial. And then the entire was like, but it's a commercial.
Mm-hmm.
He had. I basically I always loved that character because he was just hilarious. He was charismatic, and even when he doubted himself, you can always pump him up, and then he was ready. All right, Tiny, we've said good things. We've said things that weren't so good. There's just ups and downs. I think it's time for a grade.
Okay.
And I'll go ahead and start. We went over the things that I did like about this movie. It had some good characters. It had good lines. Unfortunately, all the good lines were not distributed evenly. Which, what can you do? But it does have its flaws. There are multiple flaws in this movie. The first one being its disappointment because it was somewhat felt unnecessary. However, I think that Woody got his personal ending, and even though nobody asked for it, and apparently nobody wanted it, Woody got his happy ending, and he got to be with Bo. And for the sake of love, and for all those reasons, I give this movie a C.
Damn. I thought the movie was okay. It wasn't necessary. You took a bunch of characters that I loved and you made them not lovable. Thanks, Disney Pixar. I guess you guys can continue doing that too with Star Wars. Hope you don't ruin another installment. Let's talk about Toy Story. Key and Peele were great. Duke Caboom was awesome. Like I said, I really enjoyed the horror aspect. The movie wasn't boring at all. It was just, I don't know. I felt like the subject matter wasn't for me. Like it just, what was the story really about? Was it about a kid and her obsession with her possessions, or is it, a story about the possessions wanting to no longer be possessed and have their own love, but they're action figures and lamps and trash, and they have souls but they don't? Like, what is it? What's the sentient beings? I don't get it, man. I guess now that I'm older, I question it a lot more. Like, how is this? And I know it's just a kid's movie and shouldn't care too much about it, but you gotta be a thinking person when watching things, and I wish there was more to this lore. I wish there was a more adult telling. I wish there was a handbook. I wish there was as much lore as Star Wars has lore to the Toy Story universe. I wish there was a lot more to it than just, I'm a kid, I drew on a spork, now it's alive because I named it. Like, if a kid took poop in the Toy Story universe, put little googly eyes stick and named it Poopy, is it now a sentient toy poop?
Does it have to play with it first?
See, there's a lot of good questions. I guess really what I'm getting at is the
and at which point, at which age does the effect not work anymore?
Thank you.
Is it at 18 that you can no longer turn inanimate objects into toys?
Yeah, like, what the hell? Like, I'd rather have a Sid-like kid, a story about a Sid-like kid, or shoot, give me Sid a couple years after the toy attack. You know what I mean? Like, he's obviously still okay. He's like a trash man in 3. Like, I really...
Well, no, where was Sid?
I was hoping that backwards ass freaking fair man was Sid or something. Just
Sid would have been a great carnival attendant. He would have been a great, like...
There's a lot of missed opportunities in this movie. And like you were saying, they played it too safe, man. You can't... If you don't want to go as hard as 3, don't make a 4. Or don't call it Toy Story. Call it Trash Story. Or Toy Story, movie for theaters. Oh, I'm just kidding, if you guys know what I'm talking about.
Or make it like a side thing. Call it Woody and Bo. I don't know.
Woody gets hitched. A Toy Story story.
Yeah.
A Toy Story. I don't know. I guess I should stop talking crap and give this movie a grade, huh?
Let's hear it.
I guess get a C plus. That is the lowest grade I've ever given a movie in the history of this channel. Yeah, there's characters that I love that are in it, but the story just did not feel complete. It felt like the story was on a raging Viagra effing binge, and then just like in the middle of his F binge, probably smelled like a dog fart, thought of some dog food, heard the score of a baseball game on the radio or something while he was giving it up. I don't know. It felt flat. The movie felt flat. I think you've said it in many different ways throughout this entire ordeal.
We do a different way. It felt like a not so. It felt like a spinoff on a different network by a different writer.
That's
with
exactly
a different
what
cast.
you were saying. Yes.
That's what
Okay.
it feels like.
Like a show that got canceled and got picked up. You know what? As much as I love Heroes, this felt like I was watching Heroes Reborn. And don't get me wrong, Heroes Reborn is awesome, but you're only giving me some of the characters from Heroes. You know, you're giving me some. Hey, like, give me Peter. And don't tell me he's not available. I see him still acting. Give me Peter Petrelli or nothing else. I understand you can't get Hayden.
It's fine.
Whatever, Hayden, do your thing, girl. You killed the character off, but you didn't kill off Peter. Bring back Peter, man. Bring back his mom. Do some crazy time travel thing where Peter's his own dad. And just give me some good. Sorry to go on it. I do it all the time.
Sorry, we're driven nuts by missed opportunities here.
I just wish Toy Story was better. As a fan, as a huge fan, as a child, and as a fan still, I'm disappointed by 4. I thought there'd be more. So that's why you get a C plus. At least you got a plus. Still like you. I'm sorry.
Would a kid enjoy this movie? Probably. Why? A lot of characters, a lot of bright colors.
Lots. Yes, there's creepy aspects, but it'll bring you right back to nice, bright, colorful palettes. It's great.
If you're invested from
Day one
or
day 3.
I suggest just be in the room when your kid's watching it.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely for the kids.
It's definitely for the kids.
If it's for like me and Chewy growing up watching it and watching it evolve into it's just something different. I didn't know. I really just never understood why he didn't get with Jesse. That thing always bugged the crap out of me. I'm like, bro, they're the same.
Yeah, I know.
Why can't you just
but
Jesse and Woody?
But then I think it's because they both know that if they did that,
Yeah.
then well, you know what? I guess it doesn't apply to toys, but for people, like when you have that couple where they look the same,
Yeah.
and then they constantly have to defend it like we're not brother and sister.
Oh.
And then I think you're like, because everyone's gonna think that they're the creepy brother and
They'll
sister.
be the hillbilly couple. I get you.
Yeah, I think that's
It's
maybe
another.
like in the writer's mindset. That's
Right.
what it was. I think like why not? I think that they're both cowboys.
That's what I saw. That as a child, that's what I wanted for 2, and I didn't get that, and that's what the disappointing part of 2 was just like, what the f?
But it did teach
Yeah,
that a cowboy and a cowgirl can be just friends.
that's right.
Can I just talk about the humans that looked absolutely horrible in the first Toy Story movie?
Yeah.
And they looked a lot better. I don't want to say they look great, but they looked a lot leaps and bounds better.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the aura that the first one did.
No. I forgot. I failed to mention is what I really did enjoy was the crispiness and the photorealism that they have done with the computer graphics for it now.
Absolutely.
I mean, sure, they're beautiful, but I just felt like they're like, we don't have a story. We're just going to spend a few extra years on the rendering of this so we can just ooh and awe them through the story. And believe me, I was ooh and awed throughout. Like I said, I was never bored. It just Felt like an incomplete story.
Not
Felt like
enough Rex.
a lot of missing pieces. Give me Rex!
Oh, Rex!
Roar! You guys get it if you've seen the first one. How was that? Yeah. No, that's fine. So, you know. I'm not taking my grade back. You're still getting that C+. It's just... You.
There's bright spots.
Yeah. There you go.
There's bright spots. There's definitely a reason to go see this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying it's mostly if you're a child.
You know what this felt like? This felt like I was in the mood to snack, but I didn't want to eat my entire bowl of Kung Pao chicken. Cause you know how it's like the nuts and stuff in there and like the watercrests.
Yeah.
Like when I went to watch Toy Story, I really just wanted nuts and watercrests, but they kept giving me peppers and meat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just give me my nuts and watercrests, man.
That's it.
You know, if I want peppers and meat, I'll go buy peppers and meat. You know what I mean? There's so many ways to describe this movie without describing the movie. It's incredible.
It's absolutely incredible. I mean,
like if you guys ever watched John Mars, was it? No, not Mars. John of Mars. What's it called?
Yeah. I think it was. Was it?
John of Mars.
Yeah.
You guys can correct me, but that movie, like, I was like, oh man, what's the big deal? How could this flop? Like, what's everyone's effing problem? Yeah. I mean, yeah, I didn't watch it in theaters. I waited till it was on HBO. And I'm watching this movie, dude. I'm trying hard. You know, I'm giving it my, hold on, let me get this correct. Let me get this correct before I make this joke. I was giving this my Chronicles of Riddick, my all the way there. Sit through the, you know what I'm saying? Sitting through the credits, watching for a sting. And at the end of it, I'm just like, oh, I can see why this movie didn't do too hot. Maybe it was word of mouth. It just wasn't as exciting as it was made out to be. Yeah, there was money involved. Yeah, people were, you know, doing their acting. Who the hell am I? You know, I'm just a guy critiquing, but that's what it felt like.
Oh, yeah.
It felt like another Disney flop, even though it made money.
You know what this movie's like?
What's that?
This movie's like when you get a nice big bag of popcorn and you're watching a movie.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And it's nice, salty, and buttery.
Right.
And then you get a nice handful, and then there's a kettle corn one in there.
Huh.
And children love kettle corn, but you hate kettle corn.
Right.
So some people like it, but you just have a mouthful of kettle corn.
You're just like, oh, what man? How you gonna disrupt my saltiness with the sweet?
That's what this movie's like.
Mm-hmm.
It's good, but you bite into something sweet you don't like. Other people might, but you're not gonna like it.
You're just not into it for the day. It's just, you know, I think I would have enjoyed this movie. No joke. If I was like deep in some like caring relationship, like if that was like the thing I was after, you know, like if the character, like I could not put myself in any character, not Gabby, not Woody's position, not Bo Peep's position, not even Buzz's position. Like I was just like couldn't cling to anyone. If anything,
there was a lack of relatability.
I couldn't relate to anyone. Thanks, man. Always the wordsmith. I mean,
Duke-a-Boom was awesome, but
Duke-a-Boom was probably the most relatable. The fear of doing things and then doing it and then succeeding. That is an awesome feeling. That's about it. Duke-a-Boom.
A pep talk is worth a lot.
Yeah.
That's what I learned from
a good pep talking, a good push, a good shove, you know, not necessarily physical, but verbal. Sometimes you'll need that physical shove to get off that diving board, but it just couldn't connect really. That's why you're still getting that C+.
That was Keanu talking to me. Keanu talking to Duke.
You know, I'd rather watch. You know what I'm ready for? I'm ready for John Wick 4: The Revenge. You know what I'm saying? Give me some of that. I'm dubbing it The Revenge because if it's not, it's a missed opportunity. You got Jaws 4: The Revenge, Toy Story 4: The Revenge. I'm sure if there was a Carrie... Oh, wait. Isn't Carrie 2 called The Revenge?
Yeah.
Carrie 2 is the revenge. Carrie 2. Yeah. Slept on movie, guys. If you guys find a way to watch Carrie 2, I'm talking
Do
one
it.
of the best deaths. Is a pool party death scene. One of the Home Improvement boys is in it, and he gets, I think, you know what? Let me not ruin it. Just watch it. He gets something through his eye. I know you like those yeah. I know you like those eye stabs. Thank you guys very much. This has been TNC at the movies. Chew, you got anything to say?
No, just make sure you have your popcorn, drink of choice.
Watch those movies, man. All right, guys, and let us know in the comments below what you guys want us to review. If there's anything out there, we got a request. That's right, we got a request, and that is for The Cabin in the Woods. And believe me, we're going to.
Oh yeah, look for that coming up soon.
Please, that is actually one of my favorite movies of all time, so that's gonna be fun. Real good stuff. Thanks for that request, by the way. Shout out.
Other than that, don't forget to subscribe, like, dislike,
Comment, whatever, share us, talk about us behind our backs, whatever. I'll get the tingle. Just, interact, people.